Hey there, today I'm going to talk a little bit about my XT 225 dual sport motorcycle. And I want to talk about this bike a little bit, but I want to kind of talk about dual sports in general and how much I enjoy riding this thing and maintaining it. And it's a cheap hobby that I have that keeps me entertained. I've got about a 15-mile commute to the airport here in Pensacola, and I ride this every chance I get. I've gotten serious about commuting on this thing in the last couple of years. I've had it for about 5 or 6 years now, and I got it fairly cheap. But simple air-cooled engine, 225 cc, and I really want to. I'm gonna take a ride on this thing today and just show how it does on the road. I go on 55-mile-per-hour roads, and with the speed limit up to that, and it does perfectly fine keeping up with traffic and maintaining highway speeds, and it's just a blast to drive on the road. So this bike kind of surprised me. I bought it to kind of introduce myself to I missed having a dirt bike really, and I did kind of want to venture out onto the roads. My plan was to go out on the back roads, but the more I saw what this thing can do, the more I started venturing out with it. And now it's almost, when the weather's good like today, it's been January, so the weather hasn't been good in a while. So today's the first day I'm going to take this thing out and take a ride on it. So when I got this thing, it had been ridden fairly hard, and I think mostly off-road. It's got a dent in the gas tank that's been on there since I've gotten it. I haven't really done anything to it, but I think I got it at 3,700 miles, and it's now got 23,000. And I don't see it breaking or wearing out anytime soon. And if it does, I'm pretty sure I can do a rebuild on the top end and keep it going longer. But it's a cheap vehicle. It's transportation to maintain. And if you're like me, a father that has other toys like wave runners, other vehicles, you know, your kids are driving and you want something cheap and reliable, one of these Suzuki, Yamaha, or Honda dual sports is a really, really good bike. It's funny because it's just such a little bike, but there is something about it. You know, when I first got this thing, my plan wasn't to commute on it, but I just couldn't resist that pull to get out here and drive it more. I just didn't have a chance to ride it with 3 kids, a wife, you know, and a house, everything, and just keeping things up. But I have always known that this thing will fire up. I mean, there's no question about it. It's always ready to go as long as I do the basic maintenance on it, and that's just that's what I like doing. The things, I don't like modifying things that much. I just like keeping them maintained. And if something's a pain, like these Chinese four-wheelers or something like that, it's just not worth it sometimes. But this thing is definitely worth it. Man, you know, I get this little bit of an exciting feeling, like almost like, you know, I got my backpack on, like I'm going out on it's different than getting in the car. Definitely different than getting in the car. I mean, there's a little more sense of risk, and you know, you're rewarded with the fresh air and the wind and the never got a speeding ticket on this, obviously. It's ready to go. I just, you know, at this point in my life, I never saw the appeal of getting an expensive car. It just doesn't seem like that's the smart thing to do. And this obviously is not expensive, but I definitely get my fix on it.
Speed bumps are awesome on this thing. I love them. I got to slow up a little bit. So my job can be stressful. You know, I'm an air traffic controller at Pensacola, and like I said, the last couple of months, I don't know. I mean, we've had the holidays and everything, but it's almost like, you know, it's a good job, and I try to appreciate it. But man, I appreciate it a lot more when I get out and go to work on this. It's a 45-mile-an-hour zone here. A little bit windy today. A little bit windy. Hope it's not too bad on this mic. Well, you can't see me, but I'm smiling. I wouldn't say I've been in a funk lately, but man, it's been getting a little mundane. It's been a little too cold. This is Florida, but we've been getting down in the 30s at night. We've had a few nights with 20-degree weather, and I don't know. I don't have the cold weather gear. This is a side road with about a 45, I think it's a 45-mile-an-hour zone. But I keep the fuel tank. I don't have a fuel gauge on here, and I'm glad I don't have one. I've gotten used to this. It's not something else that's not going to break. I know about 110, 120 miles. It's time for to put some gas in it, or I'm about to go to reserve. So about 110, I just go put some gas in it. I'm getting about 70 miles per gallon. Last I checked, 65, 70. Can't really hear this bike, but it does have a little more grunty sound with the now this thing will hang with traffic. It'll hang no problem through the city and stuff, but you know, go out there and start racing people. I don't know what it'll do, but it definitely moves. It'll move around on the road, and but I just haven't really felt the need. I don't ride often enough to upgrade this thing yet, and honestly, I'm going to save it. My wife's tried to ride it a little bit. Maybe I'm trying to get her to learn how on this, because the seat height on here is pretty low. But my kids, they can ride it. I mean, it's a very tame bike. That'll be an excuse later to get another one, I guess. Oh, here we go. Haven't dealt with this in a little bit. Nice job, man. Damn. Ah. Let me take a mirror slap on the phone. Old man, he doesn't care. All right, here we go. Come on. Getting in with traffic now. Yeah, put some air in the tires. They're a little low. I mean, honestly, this thing is pretty smooth too. I mean, it's got these kind of like half dirt, half road tires, and it's pretty smooth. So I guess I feel pretty fortunate. This is a pretty good route to ride to work on. I mean, I'm going to go by the bay, the Pensacola Bay. That's a pretty nice view going out there. about 55 on the speedometer to about 60. It's pretty happy. I've gone 70 to 80 on here, but man, it sounds like that's about all she's got. Doing about 55 indicated on the speedometer. I'd say that's about, what, 53? I don't know. As you can see, I mean, it's doing fine. Oh, I miss this thing, man. I grew up riding ATVs, so, you know, I had a Yamaha Blaster, Yamaha Banshee. It just reminds me of those things. I mean, it's got that old school feel to it. That's why I like the DRZ. It's still got a carburetor, I believe, still made with it. I like the carburetor. I don't know, man. I like it. Got my drum brake in the back. It stops it. Disc brake in the front. A little bit windy. Feel my head bobbing around here. You know, and I'm not even good about putting non-ethanol in here. As long as I kept the gas in it and kept it moving through, I will say though, it does have a little bit of a leak coming out of the bowl, and I need to fix that. It's probably from the ethanol, but I don't know, man. It's a pain in the ass to get ethanol all the time, non-ethanol. Yeah, I could get a $20,000 Harley, but honestly, I don't think I'd like it. There's a challenge to riding something this small on the road, too. You really got to think about your stuff. You can't just blast past everybody, you know. I mean, you got to plan it out. And like I said, when I got this, I used to have a Kawasaki dirt bike that was a two-stroke, and my wife hated it. She wanted me to get rid of it. I rode it on the road and stuff. It wasn't legal, but... So then I started telling her, you know, I wanted a dirt bike again. But then I was like, man, I need to get one that can go on the road too, because I kind of always in the back of my head wanted to ride a motorcycle on the road, because I just felt like that kind of suited me. But so that, for all you guys out there that have a wife and you know, they're a little scared, not saying I recommend it. That's one way to ease into getting a motorcycle, you know. Next thing you know, hey, I got a wave. Sometimes those old guys on those Gold Wings, they don't wave at me. I'm like, what the hell is that, man? It's going to be off to the... This is a 35-mile-an-hour zone through this construction, but it's going to be off to the races. Now, if I can't hang with traffic, I'll get over, you know. I don't feel... I'll admit, coming over this bridge, when I first started riding, it was a little intimidating, but now that I'm used to it, I feel fine. Man, what's happening up here? A little slower than usual. Alright. Oh, there's a cop. Hey, buddy. I'm not speeding. I can't. This used to be the part that I hated the most, was coming over that bridge, and I was like, you know, said a little prayer, though I'm not really religious, like, alright, here we go. But now it's, you know, I like going down Scenic Highway, which is coming up here along the bay. That's my favorite. Got these big old mirrors, I can see everything behind me. And 55 again. This is where it opens up, so sometimes people go like 70, 75 through here. I'm guilty of it in the car, but not on this. Again, I feel like I'm on a bicycle, man. It's like so little. Okay. There's a big old truck here. Well, today we didn't get up past 55. Got a slow-mo in the front. In Florida here, the left lane, nah, they don't care, man. It's kind of like they just want you to go around them. There's no left lanes for passing only. This is my lane, I'm sitting in it. I don't know how it is everywhere else, but a lot of old people around here too. I mean, I'm not trying to complain, but there's a lot of old people. And they don't pay attention, you know. I mean, the worst thing though for me is the people on their damn cell phones. I mean, I don't do it because I just know when I'm on a bike it scares the crap. It scares me, man. People aren't looking. All right. Hope this microphone sounds okay. So, 2-3 years, I'd say 4 years of commuting. I haven't done it seriously like in the last 2 years, but never been broken down. I know I shouldn't say that now, but all right. Need a new clutch handle. I backed over this thing with my Jeep. Now, I used to practice wheelies. I've gotten better at doing wheelies at a slow pace, and I don't know how many wheelies I popped on this thing. A ton. Still the same clutch. Everything's fine. I've driven a few times it got away from me. You know, it's going down the road and knocked my license plate off. I'm gonna go kind of hanging out on the road there. More police. The Pensacola area is really exploding with traffic. I mean, it's not anything as bad as I'm gonna go on the side of the road here so you can get around. You know, Atlanta, Nashville, or anything like that. But man, there's been a lot more people influx into this town in the past couple of years, and I'm slowly getting used to that. All right, here's Scenic Highway. I take the long way on the bike too. This is about another, I think 3 miles, but man, it's worth it. This is a 45 mile an hour zone, and I go about 60. That hangs with traffic, and it's just fun. And most of the time, there's somebody going too slow, but all the construction. So I'm doing. You probably can't even hear me, but you can hear the motor. It's getting up there in the rev range now at 60. But not near the red line. And I love the gas mileage, man. It's amazing. Now I can go to work happy. I just like, what's wrong with me, man? Why am I so pissed off at work all the time? Well, you know, a man can't do the same damn thing every day, day in and day out. And I love family life. I love working on all the, you know, I try to fix everything that we have. We have a few cars, and we have a house, and even it just gets too routine for me, man. And I'm a tad adventurous. You know, I was in the military for for 4 years and did the combat control thing, and this satisfies, you know, doing something too crazy, and it is more risky than a car, but you know, at what point you gotta live a little bit, and it's like jumping out of an airplane. You just hope for the best when you ride a bike, you know. Usually it turns out just fine. I'm a more aware driver on a bike. I'm getting better gas mileage than that thing up there. Probably not by much. That thing probably gets pretty good gas mileage. There's the bay out there. I need to put this thing on my helmet, but what a view. You could take in. I wish you could smell the salt water. Man, holy cow! It's about near 60 degrees. I mean, just perfect day to ride. Now on the way back tonight at 9 o'clock, I'll be like, it's a little cold, but who cares? Brought an extra jacket. So this is kind of how, I'm not a sitting duck out here. I mean, I'm not like somebody on a electric scooter, so you can see that. I mean, it gets along. I love driving this thing through the other part of town. When I'm in a hurry, I go that way. And there's a lot of more stoplights, and it's just fun to zip around. So maneuverable. Now I know the new XT 250's still being made, and you know, I might even consider getting one of those later. I mean, I'm curious of how far this thing will go, though. 23,000 miles. I've looked on forums. There's been a few claims of 50,000, and I've got a Jeep Cherokee XJ with 277,000, and it's still fine. So, you know, you change the oil and stuff, and you drive it like a normal human being. And I have done some off-road, and this thing's fun off-road. It's the kind of style I like. I like trail riding, and getting a little crazy, but I don't want to be breaking nothing right now, man. So this keeps me out of trouble on the road and off-road too. If I had a faster bike, I'd go faster. You know, I just would. But I don't really have a choice, right? You know, on this. Just hang with traffic and enjoy the ride. I mean, we could go a little faster than this, but beautiful down through here. If nothing else, if you're up there in northern part of the United States right now, maybe you can enjoy a little scenery of Northwest Florida here. I gotta be honest, I came down from Nebraska, and I can't even handle the 20-degree weather that we're getting here. And makes me want to go further south, but there's more people down there. And you'd be surprised, you know, when I first got here, I used to have so many places I could go on this, you know, just unspoken for woods. But man, everything around here now is being built up, and there's nowhere to. There's still places, but they're getting a lot more rare. And everywhere I used to ride, I'll tell my kids or my wife, hey, I used to ride there, and there's about 50 houses in there, and so that's. But hey, I got the pavement where. But there's a place by the airport. I'm gonna ride back there one day. It's kind of it's airport property, and people go walking back there. There's all kinds of trails, and I'll be on a break at work, you know, for 45 minutes, an hour break, and just go ride through there, man. It's just fun. Woo! Man. I feel a lot better. I've been getting a little, being like a grumpy old man lately. It's almost time to get the wave runners out and get them ready for the season. Like I said, there's just so many things. If you want to maintain and save money yourself, I try to find cheap hobbies. I like to run. I mean, I do stuff by myself. I'm not really a social rider. I like to run, and I run by myself and work out by myself. And I like to be in solitude. I get enough communication when I'm with my family or my handful of friends, and that's enough for me. And so something like this that I know I'm getting good gas mileage. I know it's cheap to maintain. It's a great thing to have, and it's one of my favorite things that I've ever gotten for myself. And I have a lot of hobbies. I like to play music and stuff like that, but I mean, this is just one of the best things for less than $2,000 that I spent on it. Throw a chain on it, set of sprockets, and put a set of sprockets on it. I mean, all right, tires. Give it a bath every 6 months. I mean, need to get this new clutch lever though. It's too short. But hey, you back over one of these things like I did, or I did back over. I hit it and it fell down and broken clutch lever. That's about it. I never put a dent in it. I don't know how they dented this thing when they. So here we are about the end of Scenic Highway, cutting over to Pensacola Airport. I don't want to stop riding. See, when I get to work, I get there and I'm like, I want to go back out. Sometimes I do, but another great thing about these things is great parking. You can't find a parking spot, just put it in the grass, wherever. Push it out of the way. It's so little. So I park wherever I want. Shortcuts are fun. I take shortcuts. I go through woods and trails when I get the opportunity. Alright, let's see here. I put my visor down the whole time. See, I mean, 35 miles an hour through here, but if I'm doing 50 through here, I really don't think that police pay attention. I've been pulled over a couple times on this, but it was more of they're just looking it over to see, is that thing legal? You know, like, maybe a lot of people don't know that these things are, I mean, you see the big blinkers on it and the big mirrors, but going about 50. So as you can see, now this is the XT, again, 225, so I don't think they make, oh, the Kawasaki makes the 230, and that looks awesome to me too. It's fuel injected. It sits up a little higher. I kind of would like to be up higher. I like being up high on a bike. I mean, this one's kind of lower for a dirt bike or dual sport, but it is handy sometimes. Especially when you're teaching people how to ride. My wife looks at this and says, hey, this thing's sitting up really high. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not, really. The Kawasaki, but I tell you, that Suzuki DRZ looks that Supermoto, man. Oh, man, that thing looks amazing. And that would be a good step up, because there are times where I'm like, you know, I just want to get on it and go a little faster. And although this, you know, for what it is, I think it's under 20 horsepower or right at 20. And man, it does great. But it would be nice to have a little more acceleration. Just a little more, you know. A 400 is a big jump, though. I've got a rack for this thing too. It came with a rack, but I took it off because it's to save weight, you know. I usually carry a backpack with me, so if I can't get it in my backpack, I'll just take a vehicle. But I go shopping, I'll buy beer and whatever. Box of cereal for the family if they need it, I don't know. Alright, Pensacola Airport. Now all the guys want to go out today and fly, and I'll have to sort them out, but I've had my fix for a little while. Man, I always leave my blinker on. Move that visor a little bit there. Alright. Well, I appreciate you guys coming along and hearing me talk about this XT225. I figured if I'm riding this thing all the time, I just want to share how much I like it with people, and when I work on it and stuff, so. Alrighty then. Oh boy. So 50 gates to go through to get in this facility. Hey man, take care. Get the old parking spot. Alright, until next time, I'll talk to y'all later.